Welcome back to the sunny fields of Perthshire. Oh, we're back. Detectiveville is but a distant memory and the sun is shining and I'm not having to sleep in a tent, so tremendous. We had a great time at Detectiveville. I think I've probably got the best part of 4, maybe even 5 videos, which will all be going up. In fact, they will be up by the time you see this one. It was a great experience. Camping in a tent is certainly character building. The Sunday night into the Monday -2 was pretty horrific, but we got some great finds, and it was the best of the last 3 Detectivevilles that we've been to by a long way. We all got, as I say, nice things, a few hammered coins, some nice little relics, and we were very, very happy with it. So I hope you enjoyed watching. In my absence, I've also hit 23,000 subscribers, which is phenomenal. So welcome to the new subscribers. And as ever, thank you again for all your support. So, unfortunately, some of our fields have been planted while we've been away. Others have been readied for planting, including this one here. So it's been ploughed, it's been fertilised, but it's not been planted. So I'm going to get the old XP Deus 2 out, and we're going to have a hunt over in that direction. Let me just try and not give away the landscape. You might, at the very top of the screen, see a black line running left to right across the field. And that's an old trackway, an old roadway. And this field used to have an old blacksmith's over to the left-hand side, which dates back to the 1600s. And the next field over is Martin's Gold Noble field. So hopefully there's going to be something good to be had. Well, welcome back to Perthshire. One of the joys of ploughed fields, they're not much fun to walk in sometimes, but it certainly brings up new targets every time they get ploughed versus detecting pasture all the time. So we've got a very nice 95. 96. Well, it could be a coin. Could be a coin, which would be great. Oh, there we go. We've got something green and round right there. Right there. The ground's really dry. We've not had a lot of rain recently. I think we've got a button. No, I think we've got a coin that's maybe been turned into a button. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a coin. It's got holes in it, so let's give it the old magic brush treatment. Yeah, it's got a lot of holes in it. Well, it's got a Union Jack down there. That must be Britannia. Might actually be Georgian. George the Third. Which, if it is, it's in really good condition. God, it's got all sorts. It's got triangles, circles. Almost looks like love hearts as well. Can't quite get all the mud out. But fortunately, I've got a tool for that. Les has been in touch. I think he's got a new listing on eBay for anyone who wants one of these. Great little devices. And Les very kindly sent me one quite a while back now, and lots of people asked about it. So Les has made a batch up for sale. They sold out in a flash. So he's made some more. So I'll add a link in the description to eBay. They are very, very modestly priced. I'll tell you what, it's George the Third. Look at the date at the bottom, 1806. Now it's a little bit breezy today, so let me just fill that hole in and get out the wind. Try and get in the light at the same time. Well, that is a lovely little coin. What a shame it's got all the holes in it, because you can clearly see Georgius 111 DG Rex, and a very clear date at the bottom of 1806. You can just make out his big nose and his head, his potato head looking to the right, and that is a halfpenny. I don't know why it's had all that done to it, but clearly someone's been making very big holes in it for some reason. So if you know why, then let me know in the comments below. And George the Third, he was on the throne till 1820. Brilliant, what a great start. I mean, I'm literally 2 minutes in. There's the edge of the field just there. So that's all that I've done is walk this far. Great start. Well, barely 1 minute later, I've got signal number 2. I don't know if it's one big signal or two small signals close together, but it's 81, 84, 85, maybe the dreaded aluminium, to be honest, or a bottle top. But what's that? There's something. Ah, it's another one of these bits. These little sort of rakes or combs, which I think are something to do with agricultural machinery, raking the fields or something like that, but I never know. Find lots of them. As you would expect with a blacksmith, there's lots of little iron signals, iron targets in around this area that have probably been scattered by the plough over the centuries, but over here we've got a very small sounding 80. Maybe my first button of the day, although 80 is a bit high for a button. Got a stone out the way. Well, we're out. We are out. My knee's still not recovered from Detectiveville. All the walking, all those ploughed fields. Ah, we've got our musket ball. Our first musket ball of the day. Well, always like finding a musket ball. So it's made of lead, quite a big calibre, from one of these big long barrelled sort of flintlocks, probably date-wise 17th, 18th century, something like that. And by the middle of the 1800s they were being replaced by cartridge bullets. But we had our first firearms in Scotland back in the 14th century. Nice find. I always like finding a musket ball. This time we've got a 5860. I should have said I'm on programme 3, sensitive full tones, my go-to programme. I've also got the big 13-inch coil back on again. Oh, I think we've got the dreaded aluminium. We do. Damn. Oh well. It's the first bit I've had, so I can't complain. I keep on saying when you get a dodgy signal that it doesn't sound quite right, just take the top off, because that dodgy signal might turn out to be a coin that was probably on its edge. A little imprint. It's not particularly old. It's George the 6th. You can see his head looking to the left hand side. Give it a wee rub-a-dub. There you go, it's in pretty good condition. George the 6th, by the grace of God, King of the Britons, Defender of the Faith, and Emperor of India. So it's pre-1947, and you can see a very beautiful looking Britannia seated, and the date of 1939, so the outbreak of the the Second World War. So Britain declared war on Germany in 1939 after Hitler invaded Poland. And once again Europe was plunged into a conflict which later brought America in. 1942, I think it was, America joined. So there you go. I hate to think what the national mood was like at that point in 1939, but yeah, a very important period in British history, and he was, of course, the late Queen Elizabeth II's father. Died in 1952, while she was on honeymoon, if I remember right. This one's pretty jumpy. It's all over the place. 79, 85, 78. We're right at the back of the old blacksmiths, so there is a lot of junk around, and I'm also under a power cable as well, which doesn't help either. So, moment of truth. Big gold coin. Ah, well, there's something round. It's not a gold coin though. It is some sort of fitting. It's a stud, it's a copper stud, and that black colour, that's actually a piece of leather. So it's preserved, the leather, or the leather is still preserved, should I say. So I don't know, probably off of a leather fitting for a horse, or for a saddle, something like that, a rein. And probably not particularly old, I'd guess. Maybe 100 years, 150 at a push, because the leather's still preserved, but who knows, maybe it's a boggy bit of field, a wet bit of field, and it's a little bit older than that, but still, it's a find, and it's a nice find. Nice bit of social history. Again, we had a debatable signal, which was all over the place, 40 all the way up to 80, and it's now out. And it's now a solid 85, 86, came out in the second spadeful, so possibly a coin, maybe on its edge again. Ah, there was something green. Well, we could have a coin. Or we could in fact have a button. I can see a raised bit in the middle, and it is. It's a button, look. That is definitely a button. Ah, but it's a silvered button. Oh, it's a decorated silvered button. Now look, I know people keep saying, oh, don't use the brush, don't use the brush, but this brush is so soft. It is unbelievable, and I'm not being harsh. So if it doesn't come off easily, like that, then obviously I'm going to use water as well. But because this is copper, I don't want to use water. Well, look at that, it's a beautiful button. That is some sort of a livery button or heraldic button. You can see a sort of a knot effect at the bottom, like a rope. You can see this bent arm, which I think in heraldry they call a dexter arm, D-E-X-T-E-R, dexter, which means it's sort of bent. And then at the top it's holding an axe. Wonder if it could relate to Robert the Bruce, who famously smacked an English knight at the opening of the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. Cleaved his head in two with an axe. So there you go. That is a very nice little livery button. So it may well have a little bit of writing on the back, but I can't make anything out for the moment. But we'll check that when we get home. Maybe the light box will bring it to life. And yeah, so that's probably going to be 17 into the beginning of the 1800s, I would guess, but a very nice little find. Beautiful. Well, let me know in the comments below if you recognise it. I've got the feeling this could be big iron, but I film everything anyway because I don't know until I dig it up if it's going to make it into the final video. But it's all over the place, 88 all the way up to 96. Could be a big bit of aluminium as well. Well, there's something there. So that is definitely the target. It's massive and it's metal. And I suppose it's the kind of thing you'd expect to find somewhere near a blacksmith's. You know what I think it is? I think it's the brake off a bicycle. See that bit there? That's the rubber. That is the rubber pad from a bicycle. Alien burger. Alien burger? I've got no idea why, but there you go. The brake off of a bicycle. Okay, we're back in with a 73-76. Could be another button. Could be a bit of lead. Well, could be just about anything. Well, now it doesn't sound very good. Maybe it's junk. There it is. And it is a piece of lead. Yep, it's a little fragment of lead. Oh well, just a bit of junk. Well, my don't know what happened there. I think I double tapped the record button, so I think I stopped and started, but I'm not sure at what point it stopped recording. It was an 89.91, got it out, jumped to a 93, and we've got ourselves a coin. And I think it's going to be George the Third. It's looks like Britannia on that side, and I think we've got a head plus a few letters on that side. So this is the kind of coin that the old bendy thumb normally excels at. So let it dry out. I'll get back to you in a minute, and we'll see what the bendy thumb can do to bring it to life. I don't think it's in quite as good condition as I hoped it was, but you can see Britannia on that side, and you can just about make out a head. I'll look into the right hand side on that side. So let's see what magic we can come up with. Georgian coins are made of copper normally, so they're often quite crusty. When they come out the ground, they don't survive particularly well, but we can just make out Georgius 111 DG Rex. So George the Third. On this side, we're going to get any more detail. Yeah, a little bit. This side's a wee bit better than the front, I think. So yeah, it's a very clear Britannia seated on the reverse. I'm sure I could probably get a little bit more off of this side with a bit of time, a bit of patience, but the main thing is that we're able to identify it. So it's going to be sometime between 1760 and 1820. George III lost the Americas, lost his mind. His wife, Princess Charlotte, or Queen Charlotte, they had something like 13 children, and they only met for the first time half an hour before they got married. So there you go, a love can conquer all. Again, we've got another sort of dodgy signal. 85, 86, 87. It's getting pretty windy, so I'm having to keep you out the wind, which is kind of putting me in the shade a little bit. I think it could be big iron. We'll do another one. Soil's nice and easy to dig. Well, we're out. So, moment of truth. What am I doing here? Ah, there it is. It's a button. It's not a button, it's another stud. It's another stud with another bit of leather in it. In fact, it actually looks identical to the other one. Let me get the other one out of my pocket. If I can find it. There it is. So there you go. It's a matching pair, I think. It is identical. So, 2 leather copper studs. Oh well. I think we could have another coin. A big bit of mud out the way. Has to be a coin. Solid 86. It's got to be a coin. Look how easy it is to dig. Oh, I can see it right there. Look how easy the soil is to dig. I don't know why I'm getting that out. I don't need it. That is a stone wall. Penny. 100%. Look at that. It's a beautiful colour as well. Try and get you in the sun but out the wind. 1921. 1921 halfpenny. And that is gorgeous George. Oh, how I've missed you, George. Seems like it's been ages. So George V, he was, what, 1910 to 1936? Beautiful, most common coin that we find. This one from the Roaring Twenties, the aftermath of the Great War. And we find by far the most coins are of him. And that's because agriculture went through the roof, another sort of revolution in agriculture post World War One. Excellent, nice find. The penny was right there, I've forgotten the date already, 1920? Can't remember now. Anyway, the penny was right there, and right here we've got another coin. Well, I think we've got another coin. 87, give or take. And it sounds very much like the last one to me, and it is, look. And I wonder if part of the reason is, just over to my left hand side there's a little stream and there's a bridge. So I wonder if this was a stop and off point, or maybe just somewhere that people were getting paid before they walked home. So, what have we got this time? 1911. So I think we've got another gorgeous George, and indeed we do. And again, it's a lovely, lovely, beautiful tone coin. Where's the sister coin to this? See if I can actually find it. What have I done with it? There it is. There it is. So that was 21. So 1921 and 1911, side by side. And, well, back in the day, that could buy me a pint of milk, and that could buy me a loaf of bread. And around, where's the first one? 1911. We're not shy of being able to buy a pint of beer, because I think in 1911 a pint of beer was 3 pence. And by the time we got to the 1920s, it was 6 pence. So I think we'd get 2/3 of a pint if we were in 1911 right now. A very sore loss indeed. I'd kind of hoped I was onto a coin spill there, but 15 minutes, searched all around the bridge on this side at least, and absolutely nothing until now. 78, 79, bit of an iron tone there as well. I think it's going to be big iron. I think so, at least. Yeah, can't make my mind up. It's going to be a big hole, whatever it is. Right, one more, and then I'll get the pinpointer out. Ugh. Ah, we're out. We're out, and they're now an ear-blowing 8081. So, is it iron? It's not, it's worse than iron. It's the dreaded aluminium. Well, it's been a fairly exciting day's detecting. I think I'm up to 4 coins and a few other bits and pieces, so I'm pretty happy so far. I had intended to go over to the Gold Noble field, but I've just been sidetracked by this field, so I'm going to keep going. I've come over to the other side of the bridge in the hope that there might be a few stray losses, and this field doesn't look like it's been planted yet, but we'll soon find out if it's got seed in it or not. But if it doesn't, quite a number of years ago it produced a gold coin, so where there's one, there could be 2. We're straight in with a signal, right where that deer has stood. Right there, I think. 66. So I think it's going to be a button. Maybe a bit of lead. Oh, it's neither. It's a bit of aluminium. Darn. Glad to report a little bit better sheltered from the wind in this field. This was a 63-65. I've had 4 bits of aluminium just in the space of a minute, and I expected to be number 5. And I think we've actually got a spoon has just popped out. Ah, but it's not just any spoon. That is an apostle spoon. It's a bit bent. See if I can straighten that out. Yes is the answer. I can't. There you go. Ta-da! So that is an apostle spoon. And these used to be part of a set, I think of, well, it would have been 12 or 13. 12, the 12 apostles of Christ, or if it was 13, it was because it included Jesus. And at the very top of each, we just zoom that in a wee bit, was one of the apostles. Now, I think you're often able to tell them apart by what they're wearing or what they're carrying, but I don't see anything obvious on this particular fellow. If anyone knows, then do let me know. And zoom back out. So yeah, so apostle spoons. So quite often there was a set, as I say, of 12 or 13. And I'm not sure what religion they relate to, whether it was Catholicism or not, but I think they started to go out of popularity after the Reformation. It's silver plated. I can see the letters EPNS, which is electroplate nickel silver. So this is a copper spoon with a silver, effectively silver plate, silver gild on top of it. And it's in very good condition. I don't think it's probably been in the ground that long, to be honest, maybe 50 years. But if it's longer, then do let me know. So there, yeah, these started to go out of fashion after the Reformation. So I think they were associated with the Catholic faith, but I'm not certain. So do let me know in the comments. But yeah, I'm guessing probably 50 years old. At a push, maybe 100, but I don't think it's been in the ground for 100 years. I think it would have lost all its silver, and if it had been. But that's a nice little find. I could use that. This was a really deep one, about 10, 11 inches. I think it's going to be 10, is it? It is. Oh, damn. Just so much of this stuff in this field. I don't think I'm going to make it to the Golden Noble field today, because I've only got a short amount of time left, and I've just been held up in these two fields on the way there. But maybe I'll manage that tomorrow. It's a 63-64, definite button territory, I would say, or maybe lead, or maybe none of the above, as I keep on saying. Well, we're out, thank God for that. Just as long as it isn't aluminium. Honestly, I've had so much aluminium today. You know, at Detectiveville, I think I got one piece over the whole 2 days, 16 hours of detecting, and damn it, it's another bit. Oh, what have we got? We've got writing on this one. We've got pure something. Something empty. Oh well. I had to give up on being close to the edge of the field, so I've come more into the middle. Not really convinced about this one. It's all over the place. 75 all the way through to 83. I just hope it isn't aluminium. This has clearly been used as a tipping ground at some point, this field. There's something. Well, that is a... I've got no idea. It's a bit of lead. It's a bit of lead, but it's a kind of long, thin shape. Who knows? This time came through as a 64. And I think we might have a button. Yes. There's a little depression in the centre there on the back. But it's just a plain old button. I don't know, is that my first button today? I think I've called a lot of buttons, but they turned out not to be. But yeah, you can see where the loop would have been on the shank. It's probably going to be Victorian, 1850, 1900, that kind of era, I would think. But it's better than aluminium. We've got a 75. Quite a consistent tone, although I didn't check it in the other direction. Well, we're out. We're out. Come on, be something good. Button, is it? Nope. Oh, there it's there. Is that a bit of lead? No, it's a bit of pottery. Ah, there it is there. It's a bit of lead. It's a bit of lead. It's kind of like a, not sure, bit of a lead seal or something. Either way, it's not particularly good, whatever it is. Ah, well. I'm almost out of time. That was the button that I didn't film the digging. This signal here though, well, it's 85, 86. Definite coin territory, but it sounds a little bit tinny. Well, we're out. We're out in the first hole, so I don't think it's going to be a coin, unless it was right on its edge. Ah, that's not a coin, but it is green. Well, I don't know what that is. Something, part of a circular something. Mounted leather or wood, screwed to a wall, who knows. But either way, unfortunately it's pretty much junk. Well, that is going to be it for today. So, oh, dropped it. That's going to be it for today. I'll head back. I'll get the light box on. I think I got 4 coins, so I'm pretty chuffed with that. That's not a bad day out. And a few other bits and pieces, so stay tuned. We'll put them in the light box and we'll give you a little bit more information and a better look. And more importantly, it won't be windy. Right, we'll see you there in a minute. Okay, so here we are back in the light box, and that was a pretty successful little haul of finds. Obviously a few things haven't made it in. In fact, that probably shouldn't be there. That's a little, in fact no, I know why I put that in. I'm always intrigued as to what this is. So I get lots of little fragments of this. I'm assuming it's some sort of raker relating to agriculture because it doesn't look curved. So I don't think it's a cog, but you get loads and loads of these. So if you know what it is, and let me know. Possibly something for cultivating or tilling the soil, but I'd be interested to hear. I kept these in because I always think they're quite interesting that they've still got the leather attached. So a couple of little fittings, copper alloy fittings going through leather, probably horse harness or saddle related items, I'm guessing. And because the leather still survives, I'm going to say not particularly old. 100 years, maybe 150. Some of these fields are a little bit waterlogged, so it does preserve them a little bit longer, but I doubt they're much older than that. And it wouldn't be a day's metal detecting if you didn't get a musket ball. Generally, I'll find one of these practically every single time we go detecting. Sometimes you get several. But date-wise, I think this is probably 16 or 1700s. But still, you always wonder who it was aimed at and whether or not it hit its target. Then, well, let's look at the button next. So a lovely little livery button. And you'll see it's got this little bent arm. What's that called again? Is it an argent arm? I can't remember now, but you can see they're clasping an axe in their hand. And the arm looks like it's armoured, like they're wearing a suit of armour. Then you've got this sort of twisted rope decoration at the bottom. And you can see at one point it's all been silvered or tinned, but it started to lose its surface. And on the back it's copper. There probably would be a maker's mark on there somewhere, but it's going to be very difficult to read. The chances are it would probably say The Strand, London. That seems to be one of the most common that we find. And date-wise, again, I think probably 1700s, but it could be into the 1800s as well. So if you recognise it, then by all means, let me know. And then quite a number of little coins even. So George III put in 2 appearances. So these are the 2 oldest coins. This is I think a halfpenny We've got a date at the bottom which I couldn't actually see in the field, but I can see it now. It looks like 1806, 1806. You can see the 111. You can see the bust looking to the right hand side, and on the back you can see Britannia seated. So George III and another George III, which has been very, very strangely abused. Can't say that I've had one like this before. That's the reverse, Britannia, because you can just make out the trident here and the shield with the Union Jack on it. And on the other side, there is exactly the same date, 1806. So it's identical coins. That is unbelievable. How can two coins from the same field come out in such varying condition? Especially, you would think that the one in the better condition would be the one without the holes in it. But I wonder if it was reused as a button, which would maybe make one hole a bit of sense, but why would you cover it in lots and lots of different holes? So if you know about that one, then let me know. But it's a shame it's been pierced so many times, because otherwise it would have been a pretty spectacular coin for a George III. Still, it's a coin. And then we've got three other coins, and it's two of the same, which is George V. There he is. And then it's the son, which is George VI. So George V had two boys, Edward, who abdicated just after, 6, 7, 8 months on the throne to marry Wallis Simpson, and that thrust George VI into the limelight. And Edward never had any coins minted. You'll have remembered before, I've told you on other videos that they changed direction. So Edward should have faced to the right because his father George V faced left. But no coins were minted before he abdicated. So they decided that George would still look left, because technically that's what he should have done. But because no coins were issued, this is the only coins where back-to-back minted coins of monarchs back-to-back face in the same direction. So yeah, all from the era of the First and Second World War, or between those two wars. 1911, 1921 and 1939. So difficult times in history, that's for sure. And then lastly, this is my find of the day. So this is an apostle spoon. Now, I haven't been able to identify which apostle it is. Let me get you in a little bit further to the light, see if that'll help you. I couldn't see any distinguishing marks. You know, in fact, there could be a book in the right hand, but I'm not certain. So it's one of the apostles. I'm just not sure which one. So if you know, then let me know in the comments. And it's electroplated nickel silver, EPNS. I don't think it's particularly old. Maybe 100 years, maybe 150, but certainly no more than that. And it's basically a copper core, and it's got a silver plate on it, electroplated. So probably associated with a set of 6 or 12 or maybe even 13 spoons. And as you remember, when I found it, it was bent. I was able to straighten it though. So a nice little interesting find. So there you go. Another day in the fields of Perthshire. So if you like what you see and you're not already subscribed, then feel free to hit the button. It doesn't cost you any money. And hopefully you've enjoyed, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.